figures, both serving and former governors, ministers, senators, legislators, party chieftains, activists, and analysts. Get first-hand information into the decision-making processes that affect our daily lives. Highly engaging one-hour program that brings political discourse into focus.
I am Chukwuma Okoro.
Political Lens, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Join us.
2564 is coming up on Bunny 9, right?
The 2564 Atlantic Tower.
What happens in the hush behind hangar doors? Who signs the papers that gamble with lives? Which truths were grounded before they even ever had wings? If you've ever buckled a seatbelt at 30,000 feet, if you've ever stared out of that tiny window and wondered who's really in control of the skies, it isn't just flight, it's power, it's politics, it's pressure sealed in steel. We're peeling back the clouds from runway risks to sky-high secrets. We're diving deep where most dare not to look. Aviation Scope, every Sunday at 7 p.m. only on Voice of the People TV. We don't just report, we reveal. We don't just ask, we uncover. Because when it comes to the skies, ignorance is turbulence. Aviation Scope, the sky isn't the limit, it's just the beginning.
To know the happenings in the maritime sector, join us on the program Maritime Frontiers on VOP TV as we discuss key areas in the maritime sector from aquaculture, maritime transportation, maritime labor regulation, oil and gas exploration, ferry and passenger insurance, marine pollution and prevention, port operations, and lots more. Maritime Frontiers, exploring Nigeria's blue economy.
We encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at VOP TV Live. Visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television.
VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Hello, Nigerians. Another exciting episode of the Issues and Voice of the People television, and we bring you the most important and pressing issues shaping our nation today. I am your host, Nenna Ndamdioto. Today on the issues, we're examining the complexities of Nigeria's politics and governance, from federal government announcing reserve of diplomatic ties with the United States, governor receiving remaining rescued school children. Also, ADC criticizes 2026 budget, calls it a debt trap. And finally, Pengerson warns against 100% sale of refineries. Join us as we break down the facts and provide context to help you stay informed. We'll take a break, and when we return, We'll dig deeper into these topics. Don't go away.
We're here with the leadership of VOP Television Lagos. We do appreciate this opportunity to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to our viewers all over the world and admirers. Cheers.
Glad to have you back. Let's dive straight into today's discussion. The federal government has announced that the recent diplomatic disagreement between Nigeria and the United States has been largely resolved, with both countries reaffirming their commitment to strong bilateral relations. Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris said Nigeria navigated complex international diplomacy with maturity and principle in 2025. Reiterating the bilateral relations of the two countries, he recalled that the federal government has signed a 5-year, $5.1 billion bilateral health cooperation memorandum of understanding with the government of the United States. The minister added that the MOU will strengthen Nigeria's health care system, save lives, and attract investment. Earlier, reports had indicated that US President Donald Trump recalled the American ambassador to Nigeria amid the diplomatic strain, fueling speculation about deteriorating ties between the two countries. However, Nigerian authorities insist the recall was part of broader diplomatic adjustments and not a breakdown in relations, but maintained that Nigeria and the US continue to cooperate on security, trade, and regional stability. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by two distinguished guests. Here in the studio, we have Dr. Peter Anosike. Dr. Anosike is a philosopher, development economist, and best-selling author. He's also an erudite commentator on economy, finance, politics, and power. He's also the author of the most talked about book titled Abuse of Power: How Democracy Turned into Tyranny of the Few. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Joining us virtually, we have Femba Ajego. He is the chairman, Safety Engineers, Anambra State Council. He's also a member of Nigerian Society of Engineers. We'll get to have him join us during the show. Let's start with our guests in the studio. Dr. Peter, the federal government says the diplomatic spurt with the U.S. has been largely resolved. Would you agree with this?
The issue is this. We are just hearing from what the minister said, and over the years, over the months, the minister has not really been telling us all the whole truth. He has not been telling us the whole truth, because a lot of the time what he said is being countered or rejected by other countries. And Donald Trump today, not yesterday, withdraw ambassadors from 31 countries, including Nigeria. So if they have resolved it as he said, he wouldn't have withdrawn that of Nigeria. Even though I know that they were appointed by Joe Biden, and Trump needed that to appoint his own, understand? But if there's a rapport, if Nigeria and the United States are on the same page, at least there will have been guidelines on the withdrawal, because this is an emergency announcement that was made that the guy should come back alongside other 31 countries in Africa. So it doesn't show that Nigeria and the United States are now on the same page.
Okay, I was actually going to ask you about this withdrawal. I was actually going to ask you that doesn't this claim, or doesn't this withdrawal, does it not, it looks like when you just oppose it with our claims, or as in our government claims that there's very good relationship or it's been largely resolved, you begin to wonder if isn't there a kind of strain between the two countries. But like you mentioned, if there was a very good relationship with them, they should have been able to, that shouldn't have been so sudden.
It would not have been so sudden. So for me, there's not really cordial relationship between Nigeria and the United States.
So what would you call what our federal government is doing? Would you call it reputational, trying to avoid reputational damage, or trying to just, I don't know, maybe try to...
One, they want to look good before the Nigerian masses, understand? Because when Donald Trump tweeted calling Nigeria a disgraced country, so it really showed that there was a strain. Understand me? So they now want to give an impression that it has been let me use that word, sandpapered, which I know Donald Trump. I know that doesn't stop any fight halfway. That's Donald Trump. I know doesn't stop any fight halfway. So, and I don't really believe what I hear from our Minister of Information, because they have disappointed over and over.
Okay, what would you say would be the implications, or are the implications of the withdrawal or the recall of the ambassador?
Now, you recall an ambassador, maybe if there's an emergency, understand? If you are not at peace with the country, understand me, that if there's a vital information that you need face-to-face verification. So, it is not very unusual. And it's not just Nigeria alone. They also withdraw from 30 other countries. And it's a case of emergency, not peaceful withdrawal or callback.
Okay. Does this actually expose weaknesses in Nigeria's diplomatic communication and our crisis management? That's not just about the withdrawal of the ambassador. I mean, even this so-called reserve of diplomatic, even like the issues that they had diplomatically before the federal government says that it's been resolved.
Mind you, it takes Donald Trump working them up for Tinubu to realize that he has to appoint ambassadors. And as we speak, the ambassadors have just been screened, about 65 of them, but they have not been posted. So right now, we still don't have ambassadors in other countries of the world because they have not yet been posted. And when you don't have ambassadors in countries, nobody will be speaking for you in those countries, because ambassadors are like the image makers of Nigeria in the other countries of the world. So if there's anything you need, you have to first of all call the ambassador before taking any action. So that situation remains as we speak.
Okay. We have our virtual guest join us. Glad to have you join us, Fimba Jego.
Yes, thank you. I'm pleased to be here.
Yes. Okay, so let me bring you up to speed to what we've been discussing.
Well, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you clearly. So the federal government has announced that the recent diplomatic agreement between Nigeria and the United States has been largely resolved. Would you agree with this?
These days we hardly believe what the federal government tells us because over the years, the representatives of the federal government at various capacities have not been very sincere with us, and it's very appalling. I am very optimistic and hope that they really have sincerely they now have an MOU that is seamless and that is workable, so that it can add value to the bilateral relationships which both countries have been enjoying over the years. And under the leadership of President Tinubu, we have a lot more which we are looking out for and hope that we can enjoy. Because very recently, we understand that there was a shortlisting of Nigeria, which is now undergoing a partial ban in visa policies, which is very sad. And I happen to be one of those who could have been enjoying such kind of services. It's unfortunate that perhaps we look towards an improvement anyway.
Okay, thank you. Let me come back to Dr. Peter. Dr. Peter, one of the things the minister said while he was talking about this resolve the diplomatic issues between those two countries, he mentioned that the federal government of Nigeria, has signed a 5-year, $5.1 billion bilateral health cooperation memorandum of understanding with the government of the United States. And he's actually saying, according to him, he said that this has been described as the largest co-investment by any country to date under the America First Global Health Strategy. And he went on to say that this will strengthen Nigeria's healthcare system, save lives, and attract investment. What do you make of this kind of MOU?
We still have to investigate the MOU if actually it is in existence, because Nigeria is still a country of particular concern as long as the America is concerned. So if they have some prepared the relationship, understand, America would have removed Nigeria from a country of particular concern. So we are still a country of particular concern as far as the United States is concerned. We are still a disgraced country as long as Donald Trump is concerned, because that statement has not been withdrawn. We are still among the countries that we are listed for visa ban. So how has the relationship been cordial? Understand? How has the relationship been? Because nothing has changed from the beginning. We are still a country of particular concern. We are still among the countries with a visa restriction, visa ban. And one of the things that happens when you are a country of particular concern, they will withdraw aid and other assistance from you. So it's now a concern how you'll be signing a $5.1 billion agreement while you are a country of particular concern. So that's why I said we need to actually find out whether that agreement, that MOU, existed or not. Understand me? I think who have heard from the side of the United States. So I cannot believe only the side of the Minister of Information. Understand? Because he has fooled us many times in the past.
Okay, let's move on to our next conversation tonight. Niger State Governor Umaru Bago has received the remaining abducted students and staff of St. Mary's Catholic Church in Papiri, Agwara local government area of the state, bringing an end to one of the most harrowing mass kidnapping incidents in recent memory. National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu, represented by Major General Adamu Laka, formally handed over the freed pupils and school personnel to the state government on Monday. Governor Bago, visibly emotional at the reception ceremony, expressed deep gratitude to President Bola Tinubu and the nation's security agencies for their roles in securing the students' release. Security agencies have been working relentlessly since the November 21 abduction, when gunmen riding cycles stormed the school and kidnapped more than 300 students, more than 250-something students, I beg your pardon, teachers and staff. The governor reaffirmed the government's commitment to protecting the rights and safety of every Nigerian child, pledging continued collaboration with federal authorities and stakeholders to safeguard citizens against future attacks. He also called on Nigerians to join in thanking God for the safe return of the victims, while urging ongoing support for efforts to stem insecurity in the region. Let me come to you first, Fimbar. What do you make of this, the successful release of the remaining students or remaining pupils and teachers of St. Mary's Catholic Church? What's your take on this? I guess he's no longer with us. Dr. Peter, can you please respond to that?
Well, for me, all this is surprising. When you are reading this statement, you say that the governor looked emotional. Understand? But did you watch all the video of the children? Did they look emotional? They were happy, smiling. Children that are supposed to have been in the forest for almost a month now. Understand? They are very, very happy. Understand? Now, that's a victim looking happier than the victor. So Nigeria is a dramatic country. Well, he has commended the president for their release. We were not told how they were released. Exactly. Understand? The bandits got tired of feeding them and said, okay, we are tired. We've run out of money. Go home. Understand? Or were money paid for them to be released? How were they released? Understand? Then those that abducted them, where are they? Where are they? Because if they are not arrested tomorrow, they can still come again and abduct other people. So what is the condition of their release? We are not told. Understand? But the way I see those children, I cannot believe that they have been in the forest since, because they were not looking tired, haggard, or underfed. Understand? I watched that video over and over. I was asking myself, were these children truly in the forest? Were these children in the forest? My mind did not tell me that they have been in the forest. So, but the most important thing is that they are now home. They can now be united with their children. That's the most important thing. And we thank God, happy for that. But they need to tell us more about what really happened. Understand? Okay, children that were abducted from school, how are they able, because they should be wearing school uniform, isn't it? We are not fools.
But let me come in here, Dr. Peter. But you don't expect that they should be wearing the uniform from the time they were abducted to...
When they were abducted, one, there will be no time to carry an extra
exactly.
knot.
Probably...
If they understand me, there will be no time to carry an extra knot or even to carry a bag. Because, understand? So, how are they able to dress this way, or that they have been released before, then government went and measured them? No, all these are funny.
But if there's a probability that the government, there are other cases where I know that after the release of these children, they will say there'll be a report that they were handed over to probably the governor's wife or the government officials to be as of course they have to be in good conditions for camera's sake. Don't you think that's what happened here? Like probably.
So maybe they were released last week.
Maybe, I don't Dr. Peter, I wasn't there. Maybe they were released yesterday and then they got them dressed.
And they got them dressed.
They got them dressed for camera today.
Get matching clothes for fond of them.
Okay, is that?
And now tell them to come and smile before cameras.
But if you feel that they've not been in the forest, where would they have been if not? I understand that. Okay, we know that we don't even know. An analyst once said the lesser you see, or there was the way the analyst said it. Can't remember how he said it, but you know what Nigeria is.
I say the most important thing is that they have been released and they can now be reunited with their families, with their parents, who must have developed hypertension over wondering where their children are. Understand me? But we need to know how they were released, because they seem to be in good condition. They seem to be happy. Children who have been in the forest for more than 1 month, understand, when you bring them out, they should be emotional. But I don't see emotion written in any of their faces. I watched the video over and over. I didn't see any emotion written over their faces. Understand? So that's why there are so many things that they are not telling us.
But do you see them telling you anything, any of such?
Who?
The government. Do you see them saying anything? Because they have literally come out to say in different times that it's coming out to really spell out how the release of this abductees is not really, it's not the way to go.
No, they used to say that how they were released is not important. The important thing is that they
have been released,
which is keeping us in the dark. Understand me? If they tell us how they were released, then speculations, rumors, theories will end. But when they say that they have been released, and you don't tell us how they were, was it a handover ceremony from the bandits to the government? Understand? Or were money paid, or they were rescued? Understand? Or that the bandits got tired of feeding them and said, we've run out of food. Let them go back and join their parents. So what really happened? This is what government is not telling us. This is what we need to hear. This is what we need to hear. But they said that governor of Niger has commended the president for helping in their release. How did he help? That we are troops sent to go and rescue them, or we are phone calls made to the bandits to hand over those children as like happened there in Kwara State, according to what's the name? Bayo Ononoga. How were they released? In the issue of Kwara, we are told that the DSS simply called the bandits, and the bandits released them. How were these ones released? That's the question that I am asking the government.
Well, okay, let's go back to our virtual guest. The children have been released. The Niger State children who were abducted over a month ago, they've been released. But I would want to ask you, do you think that celebrating successful rescues risk normalizing mass kidnappings as a recurring event?
Can't hear you.
You can go ahead and respond to the question, please.
Yes, I didn't hear you clearly.
Okay, I said the school children, the abducted children from Niger State have been released. And I'm asking you that, do you think that celebrating successful rescues like this...
Not rescue, release.
Oh, sorry. Dr. Miller just corrected me that it's not a rescue, it's a release. Okay, well, do you think celebrating successful release, because we cannot call it a rescue, because we don't even know how they were released or how they were rescued. But do you think that celebrating this risks normalizing mass kidnappings as a recurring event?
Well, I think quite it's very, very bitter that we have to be celebrating such a release. Like my colleagues clearly said that it's rescue. It's not rescue because it's release. You must use the right words to qualify the activity that's taking place. sincerely, the government has not really helped us over time. And for them to take a case like this of releasing from the custody of the bandits, you release young ladies and children of citizens of our great country, and then you allow the bandits to continue to have a field day. It's not a patriotic gesture. I sincerely think that the federal government and all the apparatus they put in place, all the institutions have failed over time, and they continue to fail because by demonstrating that you have successfully achieved release of a number of people that have been captured. It's not a good one because what happens next? It will continue to occur. What happens next? That's the point. You allow such things to continue to fester, such bandits continue to make business, and then many more people will join the bandit business, and then becomes a lucrative business, and then you continue to celebrate people that they release on exchange of
Okay.
It must be nipped in the bud.
Okay, many persons have said that there's a need for the government to disclose if ransom was given for the release of these children. Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear me as well?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I said many persons have said that there should be that the government should disclose whether ransom was paid or not. But do you really think that government should disclose?
Yes. Government should be very sincere with information which they disclose to the citizens. For us to continue to be patriotic in our services, in our places of work, in all activities that concern our great country, we must be patriotic in sincere responses and answers or activities that takes place that concerns the citizens. You cannot expect someone to be patriotic and then you come with a bunch of insincere statements that are not consistent and not coherent to to make people feel that I don't know what you intend to achieve, but it's not helping. Sincerely, it will make more bandits out of a good number of those children that are jobless.
Okay, thank you. Let me come back to the studios. Dr. Peter, you know that at some point, federal government shut down some of these unity schools. And then sometime last week, I think, it was reopened. But do you really think that some schools, do you think that there's a need to open? Do you think that the schools should be reopened? Or should some schools in high-risk zones, should they remain closed until permanent security infrastructure is in place?
You know, it was 41 unity schools that were shut. Understand? And I was even shocked that's by the reopening because the school term is almost and it has ended. Understand? That's why are you opening them now? I feel that maybe it could be because some of them did not take their first term exams, and they can say go back and take your exams, which to me is still risky. They should have shut down the school and take some time to provide the security, because where most of these unity schools were built are outside the communities, which then is a good idea. When they were being built, it's a good idea, understand? Because they don't want where people will be coming to be distracting them. But then there was no kidnapping, there was no abduction. We don't have bandits and terrorists. But now it's no more a good idea. So my thinking is that they should start relocating these unity schools into the town. Because where this is happening mostly is in the hinterlands, the rural areas. They should have taken some time to relocate those that we are located out of the town, so that they will have the courage to go back to the schools, because there's already fear in them. So I'm not really in support of reopening them without making sure that there's adequate security for their protection. Because this abduction is now a lucrative business. The abduction has become a lucrative business. And mind you, last week, they said that over 80 million Nigerian youths are unemployed. So when since government cannot provide jobs for them, God forbid, they may be seeing this as a way of surviving. So for me, I feel that adequate security measures should be put around all the schools, not just Unity schools, all the schools. And the schools that are located outside of the town should be relocated into the main town. Because if they are in the city, abducting them wouldn't be very, very easy. Why they are succeeding is because the schools are located at the outskirts, so they can just pick the children and move into the bush without traffic disturbing them and so on and so forth.
Okay, we've had repeated disruptions of to our schooling. Disrupted, of course, this is one of it. This closure of the school has, of course, disrupted the schools as well, the academic year of that school, the academic term. But how does this affect Nigeria's already fragile human capital development?
One, the psychology there, understanding a student who assuming that they were taken to the forest, assuming a student, a 14, 15, 13, 14 school girl that is taken to the forest, who have been sleeping under mosquito nets in his father's or mother's house, now taken to the forest, where all those comforts are taken away from him, is going to impact heavily on the person's psyche. And to recover from that is going to take years. To recover from that is going to take years. And you see some, they will be afraid of going back to school when they are even released or rescued. So those things will be helping, that will be adding to the out of school children, which Nigeria is about the #1 in the world. Because this APC government is giving us number one in everything. That's in the number of youth unemployment, Nigeria is #1. Understand? In this 300 and something that was abducted is the highest in the world. Understand? #1. Poverty, #1. So that's the issue. The children that went through this need to be properly taken care of. If not, that fear will be in them for a very, very long time. And it will even affect their studies. You see, if they are in their classrooms, they will be unconsciously looking out of the windows. Understand? Because it's already in their unconscious mind.
Okay, let me come to you, Fimba. Should you think that governors should be held accountable for security failures within their states? Please unmute your device.
Okay, you can hear me now.
Yes, please.
Please repeat. Yes, you were talking about governors.
I said, looking at the security situation in our country, do you think we should get to the point where governors should be held accountable for security failures within their states?
Of course, our constitution has stated it very clearly, and that is not a debatable section, that the governors are the chief security officers of the states, the various states. They were duly elected, and their first assignment and responsibility is the safety of lives and property within the states. The federal government may not come totally to perform such activities, but the governors have the police forces in their custody, and then some commanders have been assigned to ensure that law and order is sustained, and the territorial boundaries for states which have borders that people do not trespass, break through the borders. So the governors are fully and squarely responsible for security of lives and properties. It's not about for us to start debating it. It's any governor who thinks that it is not his responsibility job description as stipulated in the Constitution of the Republic of Nigeria. So I think it's not somewhere we should be debating. It is the constitution of every governor, that constitutional responsibility of every governor to ensure security of lives and property, men, women, and children, all inclusive.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Peter, you have something to say before we move on.
In 2014, when the Chibok girls were kidnapped, Shetima was the governor of Borno State then. Nobody mentioned him. Understand? Everything was on Jonathan's head. Jonathan, bring back our girls. They have to charter a jet for the principal of Chibok, not to go to Borno government house, but to go to Aso Rock. Understand me? To go to Aso Rock. Boname Tinubu said that Jonathan should resign if he cannot take care of the insecurity of the country, that we have only one commander-in-chief on the armed forces. So everything is settled on the head of the president. Understand? So that standard shouldn't change. If the security is failing anywhere, the commander-in-chief should be held responsible.
So not the governors.
This is a template that they have given to us, we will run by that template. So if the security is failing anywhere, we have only one commander-in-chief who swore to protect life and properties of the country. So he should be held responsible. In 2014, nobody mentioned Shetima's name. Understand me? Nobody mentioned Shetima's name. So today, governors are not in charge, the president is in charge. We should run with that template.
Oh, well, let's move on. Opposition voices have continued to criticize President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's 2026 budget, describing it as unsustainable and potentially dangerous for Nigeria's fiscal future. The African Democratic Congress, ADC, has labeled the 58.18 trillion naira budget a debt trap, arguing that it prioritizes borrowing over genuine economic reform. The party warned the rising debt servicing cost could crowd out spending on critical sectors such as education, healthcare, and job creation. Meanwhile, controversy continues over discrepancies in recently gazetted tax laws. Chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, Taiwo Yedele, has called for calm, urging lawmakers to investigate the matter thoroughly. Oyedele acknowledged concerns raised by stakeholders, but insisted the legislative scrutiny is the proper channel to resolve any inconsistency. He said transparency and due process will help restore confidence in the government's tax reform agenda. Let me come to you first, Finbar. ADC has described the 2026 budget as the debt trap. Do you agree with them, or is this a legitimate concern about this budget?
Sincerely, the budget, to me, in my own opinion, is quite enormous. It's over 53 trillion naira, which is a record-breaking budget. Over the years, we've never had such. However, the cost of things and my also concern is where this budget majorly is being invested into. You see, if you evaluate both the capital and the current, you will see that sincerely, I think the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should have also looked in wisdom into the nitty-gritty that makes up this budget. And in my own opinion, I think they quickly rushed this budget to put up this budget. They put up the activities that make up the budget from the various ministries. If you scrutinize and put further microscopic view of what is the details, you may find a lot of places where there are lacunas, a lot of places where there have been padding and over padding, a lot of places where the budget has probably, will I use the word, failed, or is not targeted at the people, not people-oriented activities. Sincerely, the budget for me, I think it should be want more, perhaps, to see that the loose ends are tightened and that the dividends of democracy through this budget for 2026 is a difference from the usual business as usual.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Peter, can a budget driven by heavy borrowing such as this, can it still be credibly described as reform-oriented? We heard what our president said. He said the budget is for, I'm trying to remember the exact words, but he was just trying to say that it's going to bring ease to Nigerians and consolidated reforms. Yes, those are his words.
APC from 2015 is very fond of mantra, propaganda, slogans. Understand? That's what their change. What did we say from their change? Understand? In their change, the disease became worse than the cure. So now this is reform. What use of a medicine? Why patients are dying because of the side effects? So the truth is that this reform is going to go the way of the 2025. Understand? This 2026 budget is going to go the way of the 2025. The way of those in the National Assembly did not even ask what is the performance of the 2025 budget. We don't know or the percentage of performance of the 2025 budget, which should have been a critical question. Understand? Before we pass 2026 budget, how the 2025 budget performed. That question was not asked. So those who are saying that we have that the National Assembly has become a department of the executive is true, because they are not doing what they are supposed to do. The separation of powers has totally failed in this Tinubu administration. What we just have now is the executive. The legislature has gone under, the judiciary has gone under. So the 2026 budget, there's nothing in it for the Nigerian people. Tinubu talked about expanding on the tax net and reducing the purchasing power of the people. That's what he has been doing since 2023. And it's going to continue in 2026. Things are really going to get worse in 2026. The only ministry that is working under Tinubu's government is the Ministry of Taxation. Oyedele is an ace in checking where can we tax. Where can we tax? That's the only ministry that is functioning. And in 2026, I pray that they shouldn't tax the air that we are breathing.
Okay, so talking about tax, I was actually going to get to that. We already know, I'm sure you already read that there have been allegations that the gazetted tax laws differ from what the lawmakers said at past. Of course, one of the lawmakers had raised this accusation, this allegation. And what would you call this? Would you describe this as an administrative error or an executive overreach or system? What would you term this as?
Before I have described this government as a government of impunity, a government that everything goes. Understand? So, under APC government, evil and wrongdoing has been normalized. They are no more being viewed as something strange. So I carefully observe the two budgets. Understand? That's what was gazetted. Understand me? That's in the tax reform and what was passed. You see, Even where they're supposed to be 25, in the Gazette, they changed that to 50. That's from 25 million to 50 million. And you do this when you lack the creativity to build your own wealth. Understand? You now begin that to look for crooked ways of raising money from people. That is what is happening. Okay, I was reading one news before I walked into the studio of a tax on recycling of vehicles. I've never heard that before. That's the creativity of Taiwo Oyedende, looking for anything to tax. So what happened is forgery. Understand me? What happened is forgery. And I pray that the committee that National Assembly set will be able to call a spade. Because Dasuki, the House of Reps member from Sokoto, said he used 3 days to compare the budget and was able to spot the discrepancies. We've never had this kind of experience in Nigeria before. That something was passed and when it was to be gazetted, it was manipulated. This is the first time. That's why I say these people are always coming first negatively in everything.
Okay.
Coming negative first.
Okay. Please, Fimba, can we have your final thought, your concluding thoughts before we end the show?
Yes, with regards to, the question.
I said, let's have your concluding thoughts. It's already almost time for us to round off the show. Can we have your concluding thoughts first?
Yes, my thoughts, as a matter of fact, I'm very, very optimistic that our leadership under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that he has to listen deeply to insights, listen very much to technocrats, listen very much to the men and women of integrity in our great country, and see how he can steer the ship of this great country through the waters, through the tides, through the turbulence. Because at this point, as at today, sincerely, a lot is not going very well, especially across the board for men, women, and children.
Okay, thank you very much. Dr. Peter, in one sentence, please, your concluding thought.
Nigerians, we need that to hold our elected officers responsible.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, Fimba, for being a part of us all the way from Anambra State. And thank you very much, Dr. Peter, for being with us today. That's all we have for today's episode of The Issues. We explore the challenges facing Nigeria's politics and electoral governance. Thank you for being a part of this show. Don't forget to tune in next time for more in-depth analysis and discussion. Follow us on social media to stay up to date on the latest news and insights. Until next time, stay informed. I am Nenna Ndomdioto. This has been The Issues and Voice of the People television, where the future faces forward. Please don't forget to stay tuned for hashtag with Vivian and Ikechukwu by 8 p.m. Don't go away.
Good evening, Africa. My name is Mama Kore, actor, model, producer, and I'm giving a big shout out to VOP TV, man. Keep watching. Don't change the dial. Thank you and God bless you.
My name is AY, and of course, I represent the voice of the people, and that's why I'm on VOP. AY say so.
Hi everyone, it's your girl Miriam Tima from the Real Housewives of Lagos and the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Africa. Shout out to VOP, the voice of the people. You already know. Stay tuned, keep watching. And don't forget, VOP is the best.
All right, hello, everyone. It's a boy that's shaking the man fine back with Melanie Poppy Black Skin Boy. This is VOP TV. If you're not watching VOP, I don't know what you're watching. Maybe you're watching your weight. Bye.
Hello, beautiful people. This is Wale Ojo, and you're watching VOP, Voice of the People.
Hi, guys. You already know who it is. This is New Energy. Flyers Boy Ever Live. Keep watching VOP TV. Thank you.
Hi, people. Ginny Albano here. Guys, please keep watching Voice of the People.
As the year comes to an end, we want to take a moment to thank each and every one of you for your hard work, dedication, and the positive vibe you bring to Voice of the People every day. From all of us on the HR, we would like to say Merry Christmas, a happy, prosperous, and healthy New Year. Thank you.
This is to wish you a wonderful, spirit-filled, and Merry Christmas from Matthew Ogunswada.
This year has been so amazing with you in it. And that's why we're saying from Voice of the People TV, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And we love you.
You've been wonderful all through the year. And this is from us, Voice of the People Television, saying Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year to you all. See you at the top.
Welcome to the locker room, the home of football talk that matters. I am Jerry Apelon. Join us every weekday, Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. Nigerian time, as we share the hot takes and hot debates in the exciting world of football. And joining me are the usual suspects, Ikechukwu and Mayowa, as we break down all the hot takes and everything that's happening in the football. Don't just watch football, live it with us. Catch us on the locker room and Voice of the People Television at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. And like I always say, if not 20 minutes, with the sport.
Behind every broken desk lies a broken promise. Education shapes the nations. But who is asking the right questions? Introducing Edu Dialogue, the show that goes beyond the surface, exposes the cracks, the corruption, and the silence in Nigeria's education system. Edu Dialogue, Saturdays, 3 p.m., only on VOP TV. We break the biggest stories, from missing funds to policy failures. We ask the tough questions and demand real answers. Edu Dialogue, this Saturday, 3 p.m. on Voice of the People Television.
Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I. From social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more. Tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count.
Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We break in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get drum! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues, on Voice of the People Television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. The Issues. Don't just react, understand. Join us as we drive into the world of politics through insightful interviews with prominent political figures, both serving and former governors, ministers, senators, legislators, party chieftains, activists, and analysts. Get first-hand information into the decision-making processes that affect our daily lives. Highly engaging one-hour program that brings political discourse into focus.
I am Chukwuma Okoro.
Political Lens, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Join us.
2564 is coming up on Bunny 9 right.
The 2564 Atlantic Tower.
What happens in the hush behind hangar doors? Who signs the papers that gamble with lives? Which truths were grounded before they even ever had wings? If you've ever buckled a seatbelt at 30,000 feet, if you've ever stared out of that tiny window and wondered who's really in control of the skies, it isn't just flight, it's power, it's politics, it's pressure sealed in steel. We're peeling back the clouds from runway risks to sky-high secrets. We're diving deep where most dare not to look. Aviation Scope, every Sunday at 7 p.m. only on Voice of the People TV. We don't just report, we reveal. We don't just ask, we uncover. Because when it comes to the skies, ignorance is turbulence. Aviation Scope, the sky isn't the limit, it's just the beginning.
To know the happenings in the maritime sector, join us on the program Maritime Frontiers on VOP TV as we discuss key areas in the maritime sector, from aquaculture, maritime transportation, maritime labor regulation, oil and gas exploration, ferry and passenger insurance, marine pollution and prevention, port operations, and lots more. Maritime Frontiers, exploring Nigeria's blue economy.
We encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at VOP TV Live. Visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television.
VOP TV. Now you have more.
This is African News on Voice of the People Television, where we don't just bring you the news, we bring you Africa's heartbeat, the policies that shapes our world, and the economy that determines our future. African News on Voice of the People Television. Stay with us.
Uyi Osarite is my name. I am a friend of the
Showish hashtags right here on VOP TV. And this is where we're going to tell you all things trending and all things topical. Now, today is the first edition